there, and welcome back to Building with the Boys. It's been a while. I don't know what to tell you. We've just had no deliveries. We've had dispatch notifications of everything. So we had this dispatch notification for Ironman 2 weeks ago. It's only just turned up today. We've had notifications of dispatch of Titanic, The Doll's House, everything but Route Master. But nothing has turned up, so there's been nothing to build, I'm afraid. It's weird, but it's just what happened now. I've seen other people have received theirs, which would suggest to me the problem is with my local postal service and not the companies themselves. I think with the sort of creeping up COVID cases at the moment, maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know, it's speculation. Anyway, we do have the latest pack of Ironman, and we are building parts 59 to 62. I am a lot more upbeat for this Ironman than I normally am, for two reasons. One, we got a very nice free gift with this Ironman, which I'll show you in a bit. The other thing that makes me very upbeat about this one is that this is the last pack of leg. This is the last. There are 2 more parts of leg after this, but this is the last full pack of just leg, and then we're done. And then we start seeing parts we've never seen before, rather than just repeating what we've already done. So by the end of this one, the leg is pretty much built. There are 2 tiny pieces to go on, 2 tiny pieces of fascia, which will be parts 63 and 64 next month. But then we start moving on, and we're moving on to the hips and the groin area of Ironman and the waist, basically. And then we're onto the body. We're in the home straight at that point. So yeah, I'm happy that this is going to be the end of this. We have also got part 6 of the premium stand build as well. So yeah, I'm a bit more upbeat about Ironman than I normally am, because finally we're going to be done with these legs. Something we did get in this one, which I can show you, is this free gift. This is actually really quite lovely. This is a Bluetooth speaker. I can turn this on. Now I'm not going to play music. I'm not going to play music through it because licensing will pretty much have the video pulled. But what I can tell you is this thing thumps. It's actually really good sound quality. This is the actual speaker port at the back. It's really good. It's really nice. And this was a free gift. Now, if you haven't subscribed to Ironman, you're thinking, wow, I have. When am I going to get mine? You're not. The reason why is because this was a early subscriber offer. So you had to subscribe in the first, I think, 2 months of the release to be eligible for this. If you were one of those people and you subscribed before April of last year, you will get one of these in your 16th delivery, which is what we're on today. And it's a lovely thing. You can buy these, but I think that they go for about 30 to 40 quid. But it's nice. It actually surprised me. So I've listened to music through this, and it thumps. It's quality. It's a really good thing. And it's a really nice gift. I mean, a lot of the gifts that you get with these builds are the same. It's keyring, license plate, and bizarrely, with a lot of the fanhome / D'Agostini ones, you get a lot of power banks. So I've got an Ironman power bank, which, I mean, it's useful for me. It is actually useful, but they're very similar. You get posters and art prints and things like that. But this is something I'm actually going to use. We quite like this. This is going to go up on our shelf, and yeah, we'll use this to play our music through. So good thing, gorgeous thing. But again, it's a nice. I'd completely forgotten about it, to be honest with you, because once the offer goes away, it goes away. There's no mention of it. You can't really find it on the site anymore. So I'd completely forgotten that that was a thing, that we were getting that. But we have. Anyway, onto the build. So in this one, there is slightly more to do than normal leg packs. So there, with the exception of one, this is the entirety of one of those packs. Can you believe that? No screws, no nuts and bolts, just 3 bits to clip in. But that's fine, because one of these packs in particular, we put the leg together. So we're attaching the shin to the knee to the thigh, and this thing is pretty much complete. So both of these legs are pretty much complete by the end of this pack. So without further ado, let's get into it, and let's finally say a farewell to these bloody legs. So here we are with part 59, and this is nice and simple. These are plastic pieces because there's no real weight to these. So you're going to thread this through here. Let's flip it over, do it from the back. There's a lug there that's going to line up, and then it's going to clip in like that, and then we're literally just going to put 2 screws in there and there. So there's no point in going away. I can show you doing this. I am very upbeat when I haven't been about Ironman, because it's just been these legs that drove me nuts, and this is it now for these. There is a calf protector to make in the next pack, and there is a piece of fascia that goes on the knee. But then, as I said, we then do start moving on to the there's no nice way of saying it, the groin, which is what holds the legs in. Now that's got a clip attached to that thing, so you can change the torsos on it. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes together. And anything that isn't just a repeat of something I've done before, I'm happy with. And that is the 2 screws in. And that is part 59 complete. That's all there is to do in this stage. Now we're going to move on to part 60. So here is everything that comes in part 60. Now it doesn't look like a lot, but don't be deceived, because this is the big one. This is where we put all of those leg parts together. So even though we have these parts here, these are some of the last things we're going to do in this pack. This is going to attach to the piece that we've just seen, but before that happens, this is going to attach to the leg. So I'm going to find the parts of the leg we need to bring up, and then we're going to start assembling, finally, the leg in all its glory. Okay, so what we need for this part is we need this thigh piece that we've made, and we need our completed knee. And all we're going to do is in here, there is a lug here, there, and this part here. This is what we're going to use. So this is going to sit just over there, and it's going to hold it in place. And now all we're going to do is we're going to attach one end piece screw into this socket here. Now I can show you these screws. They are the flat-headed ones. So that means there'll be a little bit of give on these. But again, these are plastic screws. There's no need to use your 3-in-1 oil on this, because we don't want this ridiculously tight. But this is how the knee will attach. So it's as simple as that. That's pretty much it done. Let's get that nice and tight so I don't want that going anywhere. Right, there we are. So that is that part of this stage complete. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach this knee to the lower leg. I'll bring the lower leg up and we'll crack on. We're going to this large part from last month that we made just this little protector on. And what we're going to do is this part of the knee is going to sit inside here. I think we need to bend the knee to do this. No, I think we'll be alright. Okay. How's this going? Oh, that's right. Okay. But that's not going to stay firm. Right. So, let me get these screws ready. Now, all we're going to do is we're going to hold that in place with 2 IM screws. Now, because we are going metal into metal, I'm going to use just a touch of 3-in-1 oil, and I've shown you how I used the 3-in-1 oil before. It just eases the transition of these screws and should hopefully make this a lot easier. Now these are very long screws, so I think the 3-in-1 will be very helpful here. There we go. There we go. And you can feel that really pull together as you do this. That's very reassuring. So that's the first one in. So I mean, it's supported enough at that point, but you know, always make sure you put all the screws that you need to put in. I've seen people skipping screws on some of the builds, and I'm thinking that's just a little bit psychotic. I mean, you might think the screws are overkill, but you know, what's wrong with a little overkill? If it's going to stop it from falling apart, put them all in. I know it can be a nuisance and a bit of a pain putting in hundreds of screws, but I mean, it's still got to be worth doing. So that's it. That needs screwed into place. That's what it looks like from this side. So next what we're going to do is we're going to attach the lower leg to this, and then we will be done. So with that part done, what we're going to do next, we're going to bring up the foot and the shin. Now we're going to remove the toe protector there, and we are going to turn this boot over, and what's going to happen is we are going to attach this piece to just there like that. And we don't screw this in yet. We are going to take that plate that we got from this issue, and this is going to sit in here like so, covering over those 2 screw holes. Like that. Have I put that the wrong way around? Yes, I have. Okay. What am I doing here? I'm making a right pig's ear of this. There we go. Right. So now that's in place, we are going to use 3 of the, so they are the EM screws. EM screw is I think is the screw we've used more than anything on these legs. I've used a lot of these. So what's going to happen is we're going to screw this into place, and then that first part that we made in part 59 will go over the top of this, and that makes the back of Iron Man's leg. And I will say this, I don't remember seeing this in the movie. I'm sure it is, but it does look really good, and it's quite simple in the design of the back of this leg. But the little things I showed you at the very start at the beginning when I was complaining about there not being much to do actually really make this thing pop. They really bring it to life. It just gives that little bit of extra detail in, where you can see kind of the inner workings of the suit that you never really get to see, but you just get this little glimpse through the back of the legs, and it looks good. I mean, it's like you can see it looks like hydraulics, but you'll see that when I get to it, or if you've already seen the one leg pack, you may have already seen it. But yeah, it's and the one thing I will say, I mean, yeah, I'm looking for the positives in this now, and it's easier to find them now I'm coming to the end of these bloody legs, is this does feel solid. This feels sturdy. It doesn't feel, you know, floppy, or this thing's going to fall over or fall apart. It feels solid. It feels good, and that's very reassuring when you're hoping this thing's just going to stand up. Now, it does have a support stand with it, but I've got a feeling this thing would stand unaided. So that's it. We've got that in now. So we are looking more and more like a complete leg at this point. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Now, as I said, we are going to take the part that we made in 59, and that is going to fix over here, like so. There we go. So you see what I'm talking about. You can kind of see the wiring and the electrics of what would make the suit work. And this is going to be attached quite simply with 3 AM screws. And then all that's left to do after that is we have a few of these, I assume hydraulic arms, which are going to attach to the leg, and that will be the leg pretty much put together. I mean, again, there are 2 more parts to this that will sort of close it up and bring it together a little tighter. But yeah, I'm a happy bear that these legs are coming to an end. I mean, I don't know how long that'll last. I'll probably start complaining. I don't think I'll start complaining about the body, because I've seen what's coming next, and we do put some meat on these bones, if you'll forgive the very, very bad analogy there. But yeah, it comes together really nice now. So we're gonna make the pelvis, but we don't attach the legs. The pelvis is made first, and then from the pelvis we're moving on to the lower body, the abdomen, if you will. Now, that, as I've mentioned before, you do get multiple abdomens, and the reason why is because you can pose this thing in a variety of ways. It's not just standing straight up. You can have him doing what's called, commonly known as the hero landing pose, where he's on the one knee with the arm raised, and it looks quite cool. And I think if space as well is a concern of yours, it's a good way to change a 2-foot model into a 1-foot model if he's kneeling down. That is it for that part. So all we've got to do now is take these hydraulic arms here, and they are going to clip here, 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 and here. Now, I don't know if they go in a certain way, so I'm going to have a quick pause, quick check the instructions, and we'll have a look at where they go. They are just push to fit. I've gone ahead and put them in, and it doesn't matter. They're all 4 are exactly the same. So you can see here we've got these details in, and even in the instructions, it just refers to them as leg components. So they don't know what they are either. But it just gives a little extra life to this. Now, this will all be covered up, but there is a cover that will open, and you can see the kind of inner workings of the leg. And I just think that's a lovely thing. I really do. So that is it for this stage. We are now moving on to stage 61. These 3 little pieces are all we get in stage 61, unfortunately, but they do give this leg some life, and they look quite nice when they're in. Now, they do have 2 lugs on these because these are push to fit. Now, I don't know how good the camera's going to pick this up, probably not at all, but the lugs are big and small, so you can't put this in the wrong way round. It's impossible, because the big lug won't fit in the small hole. So you've got it in right, because it won't go in otherwise. and they're fairly straightforward. So let's line these up and get them in where they need to go. I've just got to make sure I put these in the right places. Because, I mean, they've got to go in there. Right, there we go. I'm out of pause. Because, yeah, my aging eyes aren't going to accommodate this, I don't think. No, I'm going to pause, I'm going to do this off camera because I'm going to put on the modelling goggles, or the woman repellers as my wife calls them. There we are, this is our first part in. That was awkward, I had to go in at an angle, which I don't think I can blame the old eyes on that one. Now this one again, this has got a semicircle lug, so we can see exactly where that's going to go, and it's only going to go one way up, so you know you've got it in right. But again, I apologise if my eyes don't go. No, there we go. Right, so that was fairly easy. So that is exactly where that one goes, leaving us with just the hydraulic leg piece. Now I want to make sure I put this in the right way around, because again, yeah, I mean it's only going to go one way, so we'll find out. We'll trial and error it. So let's try this way and this way. So that will be a no. So it's got to be this way and this way, and it is. And that is stage 61 complete. And you'll see what I mean. I mean, just these little, it looks great. It looks great. It does. And, you know, I'm too harsh on Iron Man, and I know that. But I like this. It breaks up all this red. It gives it some, you know, it gives it some life. And these are the sort of things we typically mod. The modding community, this is what they do. They add things to these to make it look more realistic, and I think they've kind of nailed that. I like all these wires and things that they've put in there. This is something that was seriously missing from the Ghostbusters Proton pack on the Ecto 1 build. Just these kind of wires and things. It's a shame they didn't do that on that. But that's it for that. So we've got 62, and that will finish out the main build for this month, and then we've got the premium stand build. Here are our final parts for the month. We have this part here, and we have this part here, and what we're going to be doing is attaching this into here, he says, yeah, and creating a hinge basically. So there'll be a buffer over there to hold it, and then we will be attaching this to the leg, and that will, as I said, pretty much finish off the main parts of the leg. We do have some washers to install in this one, and the screws for it. So let's take a look at what we're doing, because I can't remember, and crack into it. That's exactly where this is going to go, and yeah. So we're just going to use 2 EM screws. Now, again, it's going into metal, 3 in 1. We're going to attach this cover to here. Now these are tiny holes, but hopefully I'll be able to do it so you can see it. There we go. Okay, so let's get the first one in. Apologise for the screaming, my children are overexcited. But yeah. Half term's coming up soon, so that'll be Easter term is coming up soon, so that'll be a blast with 2 very overexcited kids. But we'll see how that goes. They're playing Roblox, which is incredible that game can generate this much noise. But you know, kids, it don't take a lot. Right, so we are done. So that is that part in. So now we have this hinge here. Now we're going to attach this to the back of the main leg, and that is going to cover this is the heel protector. So we're going to attach this leg. Now, if I remember, this was a bit of a bugger last time I did this, so I'm going to put it in now, and then we'll take a look at it together. So we now have that in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop in a washer on either side. Some washers. And then 2 EM screws, and then that is it for the main build. And then I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing 2 legs together, because it gives you a better judge of kind of how tall this thing's going to be, and sort of puts into perspective what you've been doing. Now, I don't think a washer's just going to sit there unaided, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to screw it through the washer. See if that helps us. But yeah, I'm so relieved to be at the end of these legs, because it has been a grind, and that's That's the reality of it. And I mean, I still stick to what I've said about Ironman all along, that it's going to be a beautiful model. It just, it's too much. I think it's too much the same in one go. I think if they'd have moved on to the body first and then you came back to the leg, because I mean, you're building this in stages, so there's no reason to stick with it. I mean, it all goes together at the end. There was no reason to stick with a leg for this entire time. We could have, you know, built the neck and then come back to the leg and then built a bit of something else, and because it's all just going to end up in a box until we put it together. So there was no reason to finish one leg and then immediately jump onto another leg. It would have been better. It would have broke the build up to do other bits. You know, keep you interested, keep coming back. Or even build the leg. I mean, there's so little in these packs. Build the legs at the same time. So you don't build one knee, you build two knees. Just get, I don't know. Anything would have been better than the way they've done it, I think. Because it was that. It was build one arm and then immediately start building the other arm. Build one leg, then immediately start building the other leg. And that wasn't fun. We need variety in these things. Because when there wasn't much to do to begin with, to then have to repeat the very little that you've done, I don't think was great. And I'll stick to that. I mean, I have been harsh on it, but again, I will stick to my guns on what I said. That's it. So those are the two EM screws in place, which now gives us this section here of the leg that will open like that. And this is how you will see the hydraulics inside the leg. So there we are. So this will close down, and the calf protector will go over, and that's it. So now I have one I made earlier. And what I've done with this one is I've just mocked it up. So these held together with rubber bands, but it's purely to get a look. So I'm going to mock the other one up with rubber bands as well. We're going to stand them next to each other, see what two legs together looks like. Here we are. We have the two legs together now. Actually, they're not going to be quite like that, but this is just a mock-up. It's just to see how they look together. And I gotta be honest, really good. And bloody tall as well, because if I get the tape measure out here, we can see exactly how tall these are. Let's just get this out, and I believe they are, here we go, I believe we have just about 14 inches of leg. So that gives you an idea of just how big this model's going to be, because we're going to go up here, and then we're going to have waist and pelvis there, and then we're going to go up to the torso, right up to the head. So this thing's going to be huge. It really is. When this is done, this is going to be massive. We're looking at a good 2 foot and a bit. And yeah, it's looking good. So for all my bitching about these legs, I'm actually very happy with them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing these off next month and starting to move on to something a little bit more exciting. But now we're going to move on to the premium stand. For our parts for part 6 of the premium stand. Now, this is the 3rd time we've done this. We're going to do it another 3 times after this as well. I'm not going to subject you to watching me build the same thing again. So what I'll do is I'll put it together, I'll add it to the stand, then we'll take a look at how the stand's looking at the end. Here we are. So the stand is now starting to look really good. Now we've got half of the these panels put in place. We can see how he's going to stand on this thing. Clearly not that wide-legged, but you get the idea. It's looking good. It's looking good. I'm actually really happy with this, and it's been a long time coming, because I'd say the past 5 months of Ironman have been fairly miserable. But it's nice seeing these legs finally come to an end, and it's nice seeing this stand really starting to come to life now. Anyway, let's have a chat. So that is Ironman complete. Look, I complain about Ironman a lot, I know I do. But I've just hated doing these legs, man. Didn't enjoy it. And it has put me off building more of these style of models. So I'm reassessing whether or not I want to do the alien. Because I do want to do the alien, but I don't know, man. I think I'm souring on it. I think I'm souring on it, to be honest with you. But I do like this. I mean, again, it's a really nice model. It'll look great. It'll look amazing when it's done. But just as I said, the journey to the destination, the journey has not been fun, man. It really hasn't. But again, for all my complaining, we are now going into uncharted territory next month. So we will finish the leg. I believe there are 3 pieces that we already know. And then we move on and we make what's essentially the groin of Ironman. And then after that, everything's new. So we've built both legs, we've built both arms. Now we're just building the torso. And then naturally there's going to be repetition on the torso because of the symmetry of it. But it's no different to being repetition on a car when you put 4 wheels on them. But now at least we're out the legs and we're in the home straight. And this thing doesn't take all 100 issues to have it complete. As I mentioned before, it's got a bunch of abdomens. So they're all slightly twisted. So you make one. I think the model's actually complete around about issue 94, and then the next 6 just sort of finish off the other torso. So you remember the different poses. I mean, in theory, you could tap out at 94. You could contact fanhome and say, "I'm done. If you don't want those torsos for the poses, I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them," because I think the beauty of the different poses that he can do is if you are limited on space, you can have him shorter, so you can have him kneeling. And I'm going to try all of them. I'm going to try all 4 of the abdomens and see which one works for me. Because they all look good. I mean, all of them look good. The one that doesn't really get any love is there are 2 that you can do the hero landing pose. That's the knee and the kind of arm up pose. There's the one where he's just standing upright. But there's another one that doesn't really get any love, where he's kind of flying, so his body's sort of twisted. And I think that one might actually look really good. So I'm going to try them all. It is a pain in the ass switching those abdomens out and putting the new ones on. It's not a quick process, but I don't care. So I'm going to try them all. The one thing I'm not doing, I can tell you now, is there is an extension to this going to issue 120 or 130 of battle damage, and the battle damage just looks bad. And not like intentionally bad. It just looks like someone got a bunch of parts and took a scouring pad or some wire wools to them. But there's no consistency to it. She'll have one part that's really damaged, and underneath him it's immaculate. Then the next part's really damaged, and it's like, yeah. So it's not dented or anything like that. It's all just kind of scuffed up paintwork. And I'm like, nope, I haven't enjoyed this enough to go, well, let's keep going. But I mean, extensions are quite common, but I don't think they're going to extend the Ecto, people that build the Ecto, because I think we would have heard about that by now. We're only like 4 issues off complete in Ecto 1, and I think if they were going to extend it, we would have heard about it by now. So I don't know, extensions are common or uncommon. They don't extend all of them. R2-D2 never got extended. But we'll see. I'm rambling now. But that was nice to do the final pack of known leg, and hopefully I can start warming to this thing again. And yeah, we're going to be looking good. So after next month, we are just body. That's where we're going. So we are doing hips and pelvis and abdomen and body. So it's really going to start coming together now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, please remember to give us a like and a subscribe, and you can see Ironman all the way through to the end. And hear more of my complaining. If you got any questions, you can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com or drop it in the comments and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And that's all for this episode. We'll see you next time in a world where you can be anything at all. Just be nice. We'll see you then.